Alien Earth Season 2, Noah Hawley finally breaks silence post-finale. Alien Earth has wrapped its first season, leaving fans with plenty of questions, a jaw-dropping cliffhanger, and perhaps most importantly, an update from showrunner Noah Hawley himself. With the finale finally behind us, it's time to dig into everything we know about Season 2, from Hawley's comments, FX's current stance, to where the story might go next.
What's the story?
Season 1's run and finale recap. Season 1 of Alien Earth premiered on August 12, 2025 on FX and Hulu in the US, followed by international streaming on Disney Plus the next day. The 8-episode season rolled out weekly, concluding on September 23, 2025. Over the course of those 8 episodes, Hawley crafted a hybrid of sci-fi horror, political allegory, and character-driven drama. The finale itself stood out for its staging. Many of the remaining characters, broken, bitter, and scarred, gathered together in one room, including the xenomorph. It almost felt like a curtain call for a stage play, but without the bows or applause. Instead, ambitions and resentments were momentarily suspended, only for new dangers to loom. The episode ended with Wendy declaring, "Now we rule." It was a triumphant, chilling moment, but as Hawley later teased, that's deceptive. 10 minutes later, things would look very different. Yutani troops were arriving, and the balance of power was about to be tested. This was never intended to be a closed-ended series. The chapter was complete, but the story was only just beginning. Noah Hawley on Season 2's direction. In interviews after the finale, Noah Hawley offered insight into his approach. He explained that he designed the first season with the future in mind. This wasn't a self-contained anthology, like Fargo. Instead, the goal was to keep the chess pieces on the board, so the story could evolve naturally into multiple seasons. Hawley was also candid about the dual realities of making a show like this. On one hand, there's the artistic ambition, the story, characters, and thematic explorations. On the other hand, there's the commercial reality, whether enough people are watching to justify the huge expense of a series set in the Alien universe. According to Hawley, this first season acted as a proof of concept. It had to demonstrate that audiences wanted a high-budget Alien TV show and that there was appetite for multiple seasons. He emphasized that Season 1 was never designed as the end. The arrival of Yutani forces, the shifting balance of power, and Wendy's rise were deliberate setups. The finale's urgency was intentional, to ensure viewers felt that events were still unfolding in real time. The structural challenges of Season 1. Hawley also reflected on the challenges he faced with the first season. Normally, he works with 10 hours of storytelling, but here, he had only 8. That meant tough structural decisions, spending 2.5 hours at the crash site, another stretch at Neverland, a spaceship-focused episode in the middle, and then a sprint to wrap up the Neverland arc while laying foundations for the future. This compressed structure wasn't easy, but critics and fans have largely praised how well it came together. Hawley himself said he was gratified by the positive response, considering the difficulty of balancing character, theme, and future setup within a restricted time frame.
Now we rule.
Boy Cavalier, Wendy, and the children who rule. One of the most striking moments in the finale was Boy Cavalier's reaction to Wendy's declaration of rule. Hawley confirmed that this moment was layered with meaning. Boy Cavalier, with his anarchist streak and disdain for authority, had effectively created his own rival power to the corporations of the world. Wendy's rise as a self-aware synthetic capable of controlling a xenomorph was his ultimate disruption. For Boy, this was not just about scientific achievement. It was about creating something that could truly burn the old order down. Wendy holding the matchbook, so to speak, was thrilling to him. Hawley likened it to Peter Pan's cry of death to adults. In this case, the children, literal hybrids, and new beings were poised to rule. But even as Boy found delight in Wendy's ascension, Hawley hinted that tension and danger were around the corner. This wasn't a fairy tale ending. It was a setup for chaos. Is Season 2 confirmed? Here's the big question. Has Alien Earth been officially renewed for Season 2? As of now, the answer is no. FX has not formally announced a renewal, but Hawley, cast members like Timothy Oliphant, and various industry insiders have confirmed that conversations are happening. Oliphant even said the talks are well into discussions and that Hawley is already laying down ideas. Hawley himself has said he doesn't want the show to be off the air for longer than necessary. There's urgency, he insists, to get moving quickly. However, he also admitted that the decision ultimately lies with Disney and FX, who will weigh the viewership numbers and critical response. The commercial side of the equation matters. If the numbers are strong, renewal is likely. Given the positive reviews and the buzz around the finale, the signs are encouraging. How many seasons could there be? Earlier, Hawley floated the idea of as many as 5 seasons. Recently, he mentioned the possibility of 2 or 3, but he cautioned fans not to read too much into those numbers. The truth is, he doesn't know how long the story will take to reach its destination. What's clear is that Hawley is enthusiastic. He described Alien, Earth as a hybrid show that blends the franchise's horror roots with philosophical explorations about the future of humanity. As long as he's allowed to tell stories in this voice, he says, he wants to keep going. What Season 2 could explore? If Season 2 moves forward, what directions might it take? Based on Hawley's hints and the finale, there are several possibilities. Corporate confrontation. The arrival of Yutani forces suggests that the corporations will move aggressively. Season 2 could revolve around clashes between Wendy's hybrids and corporate troops, mirroring the larger theme of rebellion against authority. Internal power struggles. Wendy may rule, but Boy Cavallo's anarchic impulses and the ambitions of other hybrids could lead to internal fractures. Power rarely remains unchallenged. Expanding the alien ecosystem. Season 1 introduced more than just xenomorphs. The Ocellus, plant-based monsters, and Wendy's unique control abilities all open doors for new kinds of horror. Season 2 could deepen this alien ecosystem. Philosophical dilemmas. At its core, the series is about humanity, creation, and control. Wendy embodies those questions, a synthetic with self-awareness, commanding a xenomorph, declaring rule. What does that mean for the definition of humanity? Timeline connections. Fans wonder whether Alien, Earth will eventually tie directly into the films. Hawley has been cautious, not wanting to limit himself, but there's potential for deeper connections. When could Season 2 release? Even if renewal happens, when might Season 2 arrive? Given that Season 1 wrapped in September 2025, the earliest possible return would be late 2026, if production moves quickly. But with the scale of visual effects and the demands of the story, 2027 is a more realistic estimate. Hawley himself has said he doesn't want a long gap. He's pushing for urgency, but until Disney and FX officially greenlight Season 2, the timeline remains speculative. Why Season 2 feels likely. Despite the lack of official confirmation, there are reasons to be optimistic. Positive reception. Critics and fans have praised the show's ambition, tone, and originality. That critical goodwill matters. Strong foundation. The finale left the story wide open, clearly designed for continuation. It wasn't wrapped as a one-season experiment. Hawley's enthusiasm. He's openly excited to continue, and FX has a track record of supporting his projects, like Fargo. Franchise value. The Alien brand remains strong, and a well-received TV series is a valuable addition to Disney's library. The bigger picture. What makes Alien, Earth stand out is its balance of horror spectacle and thematic depth. Yes, there are xenomorphs and monsters, but at its heart, the series asks questions about who controls the future, what humanity means, and what happens when the old order collides with the new. Season 1 ended with a powerful statement, "Now we rule." But as Hawley pointed out, the triumph is short-lived. The real story lies in what happens next, how power is tested, fractured, and fought over. Season 2, if renewed, promises to explore that chaos. Final thoughts. Alien, Earth Season 1 is done. It premiered on August 12, 2025, and wrapped September 23rd, leaving fans hungry for more. Noah Hawley has broken his silence, confirming that talks are happening, creative ideas are already on the table, and he wants to move quickly into the next chapter. There's no official renewal yet, no release date, and no cast list for Season 2, but the direction is clear. Hawley sees this as an ongoing story, not a one-off. The corporations are coming. Wendy and the hybrids are rising. The xenomorphs are only the beginning. For now, all eyes are on FX and Disney. Will they give the green light? If they do, Season 2 could arrive in 2026 or 2027, expanding this bold new vision of the Alien universe. Until then, fans can only speculate, rewatch, and wait for the next chapter in this dark, thrilling saga.